Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Flook, musicactionfigures.ca. I've got my Courvoisier cognac in hand, which can only mean one thing and one thing only. We are doing a music figure update video for 2013, November 2013. So let me take one more sip of my Courvoisier and turn the camera around and we'll start in on the music action figure collection video. God damn, that is some good Courvoisier. All right. So let me just turn this sucker around. So the last video that I took of my collection was when I was living in Chatham, Ontario. Horrible, horrible Chatham, Ontario. And the collection has grown considerably since then. Let me give you a quick pan and scan of the collection as it is now in the man cave here in Cambridge, Ontario. And so what we're going to do is we're going to just go over all the collection briefly and have a brief discussion about some of the figures and whatnot. So I'll be taking the occasional Courvoisier cognac breaks as well. So let's start here at the top corner. We've got John Bon Jovi. These came out from McFarlane. Mr. John Bon and Richard Sambora. And moving down, we have George of the Beatles, and this is the Sunday morning cartoon series, also from McFarlane. In fact, most of these figures are going to be from McFarlane's. This is actually, let me zoom back here. This is actually like my Kiss wall, which is pretty ridiculous considering I don't even really like Kiss all that much. So let me just scan over these ones. This is the Kiss Psycho Circus series from McFarlane, and these ones are all mint in a package. And I guess I'll just move along this way. This is the Psycho Circus Tour Edition, also by McFarlane. And moving on down, we have more Kiss, because that's what every music figure collector should have, is a whole shitload of Kiss figures. Notice how his guitar bends a little bit. This is in the package, but I guess that's just the way that the plastic bends over time, unfortunately. I've seen other figures that were like that, exactly the same way. This is the Kiss Alive, also from McFarlane. And then we have, well, what goes between Kiss and the Beatles? Well, it's Sid Vicious, of course. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? There's a variant without his sunglasses on as well that I have to get. Later in this tour, we're going to see Mr. Sid Vicious outside of the package. So you get the benefit of both. Moving on down, we have Kiss Creatures. This, Gene Simmons, it's the blood variant, and there's another figure where he doesn't have that blood on his face. So this is the blood variant. Look at that. Yeah. And moving on down. These two are really hard to get. Ace and the Fox, Eric Carr, of course. These are really, really hard to get. Really expensive. I'm glad I got these. I have these outside of the package as well. And I guess we'll just keep moving on down here. We got we're starting in on the Elvises. These are all McFarlane's. So we have Jailhouse Rock Elvis, 68 Comeback Special Elvis, 50s Elvis, 1956 Elvis, The Year in Gold. Look at that. I have these outside of the package as well, so we'll show you later on in the tour. And then Las Vegas Elvis, where he started getting fat and, bloated and whatnot. And what we'll do is we'll kind of scan all the way back here. Sorry to make you all nauseous. Next we have some Kiss figures. These are from Japan, from Grunts. I have all but one. I'm missing Gene Simmons on that collection right there. So if you have a Gene Simmons and you want to donate it to me, I would be more than happy to accept that from you. Next up, we have some hand-painted bobblehead dolls of Kiss, of course. Next we have statues from McFarlane. So we've got all of the statues. Let me see. So right there, we have all the Kiss statues. And then we also have 2 variants. So I need the other 2 silver variant statues as well. Next we have Joe Shithead Keithley and Joe Queer of punk rock bands DOA and The Queers. And those were sent to me by the fine people over at Agronautics. And they make awesome punk rock bobbleheads. They're called throbbleheads, but you get the idea. Next up we have Mr. Scott Ian from Anthrax. And next to Scott Ian is Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead. Let me just zoom in. There's variants on this as well. The variants have different bases, so I have to pick those up eventually. And I'm just going to scan. Sorry about the nausea. Down here we have our 24-inch Kiss series from Destroyer. Now they also put out a Love Gun series as well, which I have to pick up. And to get kind of a scale of, that's my hand right there, and so they're pretty huge. Kind of scale it back here. They're pretty massive figures, those ones. Those were fun taking home in the car. We had 4 of them in a very small car, and I basically had to fit in the front seat on the floor, so I kind of felt like a damn dirty Mexican immigrating into the country. Anyways, so next we have Kiss Smitty. We have this opened as well, and I'll show you that later. Next, below, we have Mr. Rob Zombie. That's an 18-inch Rob Zombie. And he actually, if you can listen here. Yes, he makes noise. Next, we have Dee Dee Ramone bobblehead, Keith Morris of the Circle Jerks, Dick Manitoba, and Milo of the Descendants. So those are all throbbleheads, except for, where are we at here? Johnny. Where's my finger? Except for Johnny, these are all throbbleheads from Agronautics as well. Go to agronautics.com for more punk rock throbbleheads. Next we have 18-inch Freddie Mercury. Beside him, we have an 18-inch John Lennon. And what should I do here? I guess what I'll do is I'll show you the ones on the floor first. Next we have Smitty. We have No Doubt. And we have Gene Simmons. It's a 12-incher. For anybody interested, I have another 12-inch reference that I can show later, but that's the X-rated video. That wasn't even funny. Okay, next we have the Beatles box set. This was donated to me, actually. It was really nice. Here in Cambridge, somebody just called me up and said, I want to donate my Beatles set because I think you'd appreciate it. And I would. And I did, and I do. So I accept all donations that anybody wants to make. Below this, we have the Motley Crue box set. And that's mint in package. And let me just go past this little thing here. Next over we have the full Kiss set once again, and I bought these 3, the one on the right and those 2 down there, in London, and then I ordered Gene off of eBay to collect the set, and that worked out really well. Next we have some urban vinyl. We have Flavor Flav. Next to Flavor we have Mr. Buddy Holly. And then we start getting into a whole bunch of 12-inch Elvis. So we have these vintage 12-inch Elvis. We got Jailhouse Rock 68 Special and also Teen Idol. We have one in the package and one out of the package. And above him we have these 2 Elvis, Hawaii and Jailhouse Rock. And there's a couple more I have to get from that series as well. Elvis Head Knockers. Just a whole bunch of Elvis crap. We have Joey Ramone right here. That's a 12-inch Joey Ramone. So underneath we have another Elvis. We have Mr. Michael Jackson from 1984. That's a vintage Michael Jackson. Next to him, we have Damien of, what's the band name? I don't even know. Punk band from Toronto. I think it has the F word in it. I really can't remember. I have to do a review on that, so stay tuned to that one. Next you have Slash. That's the box set of Slash. Next you have another Elvis head knocker. And the prized possession, of course, 2 vintage MC Hammer. From 1990, I believe they are. And, or 1990. And for ages over 3. So if you're under 3, unfortunately, you can't play with that. But look, remember that? Look, it's a cassette tape. Comes with a cassette tape. So I'm going to stand back and I'm going to kind of scan the floor again so you can kind of see. And then what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the ones up on the wall. So we're nowhere near being done. Okay, I might need to take a Cavassier cognac break in a minute. Okay, so up here we've got Joey Ramone. These are by NECA, these ones up here. So we got Joey Ramone, NECA. We've got Iggy Pop. We got both Kurt Cobains right there. And what I'll do is I'll scan down. We got Devo with all the little Devo heads. Next we have Freddie Mercury again, and it's Freddie Mercury here is the same as the 18-inch Freddie Mercury down below. And then this Freddie Mercury, this was discontinued actually. This one's pretty hard to get, so if you can get your hands on this Freddie Mercury, then pick it up because they pulled it off the shelves. Apparently it was never approved, and you can kind of tell why because it looks sort of Neanderthal-ish. Definitely not as good of a sculpt as that Freddie Mercury. Especially, like, look at this picture up here. Kind of looks like he just came from a caveman, whatever. Oh, God. Okay, so next we have Jimmy Page. And then Mr. John Lennon. There's a black and white variant I have to get on John Lennon as well, which I want to pick up. Scanning on down, we have our Public Enemies. So we have Chuck D and then Flavor Flav. And then we have the rare Tokyo exclusive Chuck D and Flavor Flavs. Basically, they just wear different outfits. And I'm a sucker for exclusive variants. Moving on down, we have the Sex Pistols. Another Sid Vicious here. And Mr. Johnny Rotten. And then we have our Motley Crues. I'm still missing 2 Motley Crues. So I'm missing Tommy Lee and what's his name? The guy? You know, the guy, the bassist guy. What's his name? Wow. Anyways, bassist guy. He died once apparently. Came back to life. So let's move back up here. So next we have our Beatles. So this one right here, if you look at the whole set, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but there's 4 Beatles. Why do we have 5? Well, what we have is we have the normal Beatles here and John with the love hand thing. And then scanning over here, we also have John with Captain Fred, which is another variant that came out. So in this series, there's actually 5 Beatles. And I guess we'll move down. We have this Beatles set as well. These Beatles came out by McFarlane. And these were some of the earliest McFarlane figures, these Beatles here. Moving on down, we have Metallica. Try to scan that. Horrible camera work here. And then moving on down again, we have Jimi Hendrix, Johnny Cash, and then we're getting into our AC/DC. And this over here is a McFarlane AC/DC. And here's AC/DC with Brian Johnson and Angus Young. And I believe that was NECA that put that one out. And over here we've got our Rolling Stones. We've got Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. Keith Richards and Mick Jagger from the Rolling Stones. And I guess we'll kind of zigzag our way up. So then we have Janis Joplin, that's McFarlane. That was one of the original ones that came out of the McFarlane music line. Mr. Alice Cooper, of course. And sandwiched between Alice Cooper and Jason Newsted of Metallica. Come on, show your face, Jason. Don't be so shy. Is Eminem, and this is a Eminem bobblehead. A really good sculpt on that head. Actually, I'm really happy with that. The only problem is because of the packaging, the nose kind of rubs up against the package a little bit. But nevertheless, it's a really good Eminem, and I'll show you a really shitty Eminem in a minute. Actually, you know what? Screw it. I'll do it right now. Hold on. So you got that bobblehead, then you got this one. Whoa, why did I buy this? Because it says Eminem. It says Slim Shady on it, and I'm a fool for marketing. So you can tell like the difference in quality here. Obviously, this one's meant to be more cartoonish, but still, I much prefer the semi-realistic appearance of that one. And then right above Eminem, we have, oh no, it's another Eminem. Okay, we've got another Eminem put out by Art Asylum. And there's another Eminem I have to get in the series. On the back of this package, it shows 3 M&Ms, 1, 2, 3. But they only came out with 2. They didn't put out the 3rd M&M, and that's the one where he's in jail. The Marshall Mathers one, I believe it is. Moving on over, we've got Sharon, Ozzy Osbourne. And then we've got Jerry Garcia of the Grateful Dead. We got Mr. Jim Morrison of The Doors. Marilyn Manson. And I do have to get, there's a lot of Marilyn Mansons I have to get. These are really super expensive, the Marilyn Manson ones. I saw one go for like $1,000 before for a variant. And then right beside Marilyn Manson, kind of in a dark package, is another Rob Zombie. And then you can see him up here as well. Whoa! So let me scan around here. Kind of moving on out. Moving on up. And so this is basically what we just looked at. Is all of those figures right there on the wall. And so next, we're just going to go through some of the loose figures. These are sort of my odds and ends. And then the grand finale, which are the figures in the display case. So once again, we've got Janis Joplin out of the package. Got a little Elvis right here. We got another Michael Jackson from 1984 out of the package. If you want to come over and we can play with the Michael Jackson figure. And I didn't mean to touch those kids. I swear I didn't do it. The Sid Vicious, as I mentioned, this one's out of the package now. And then right beside him is Jerry Only, and I wish I still had the package for that. I love the Misfits, so it's kind of a shame. I took that out of the package, and then there's that shitty Slim Shady bobblehead. We got a Mr. Chuck D back here. Yeah, so we have Chuck D. Beside Chuck D, we have some generic punk figures. These are from a CBGB line, and it's basically supposed to be like Sid Vicious and Johnny Rotten kind of thing. Besides him, we have a Devo outside of the package, and then we have a McFarlane Kiss statue. Give me a kiss, give me a kiss, right? So then beside him, we have a 12-inch. My arm's starting to hurt. Jesus, I gotta make 2 parts of these, I think. Okay, so then we have a Kiss from McFarlane. Beside him, we have 68 Comeback Special from McFarlane as well, and that's the 12-inch. Moving on down, we have another Jimi Hendrix out of the package, and then let me bounce back over here. We have another Jimi Hendrix out of the package. So a lot of these figures I have doubles or triples of. I like to collect them both in the package and out of the package. And the reason being is obviously keeping them in the package to maintain the integrity, but outside of the package so I can film them and take photos of them in my light box. And because I'm addicted to the smell of the plastic when you open it up. It smells so good. So then we have, Kirk is kind of leaning up here a little bit. He's been drinking. I didn't know he was the Metallica member to be a drunkard. Oh, 20 minutes in. Okay, so then we have Elvis back here. These are all McFarlane Elvises. NECA, Iggy Pop. Look at that face. Give him a kiss. I should make the Gene Simmons come up and kiss him. Oh, lovely. Okay, then we have Beatles. And more McFarlane Kiss, or sorry, Elvis. Okay, and I said McFarlane Kiss because look, we got all these Kiss figures out of the package. That's ridiculous. Dave Flook putting the dick in ridiculous. Look at this. Look at this, folks. This is insane. This is pretty much all the sets except for one, except for the Kiss Alive, I think. Just looking at my wall here. Yeah, this is all the Kiss except for Kiss Alive by McFarlane. And I won't go into detail about so much of the rest because I need my Courvoisier. So then we got Alice Cooper out of the package, Johnny Cash, Angus, Rob Zombie, Kurt Cobain, Bark at the Moon, Ozzy Osbourne, and then the other Ozzy Osbourne. And then we have Slash. Jimmy Page is kind of hiding back here. And then down here we have an opened Motley Crue. The only problem with this, if you look, Vince Neil's kind of leaning over a little bit because there's just one peg in his foot. So I am going to have to get some heat on him and mold his foot back to where it's supposed to be. But that's a really cool, it's a really cool set. And then we start getting into the Smitties. So we've got the Offspring, Smitty, Limp Bizkit, and then No Doubt. And the details on these little figures it's really good. I'm pretty happy with these ones. What I'll do, since I'm down here anyways, down here we've got the Limp Bizkit Smitty in the package. We've got some Pop Rocks Sex Pistols figures. Then we've got these rare, what are they, 21 inch Elvis figures. They're 21 inch 21 inch Elvis figures from 1984. And these ones had never been removed from the package when I got them. And I very carefully removed them and put them on display kind of in the corner for now. But they're really cool. They're a cool little addition to my collection. And then we have a couple more Elvises just off on the wall here. All of these are McFarlane's. And then here we have a stack of like doubles and triples that I'm actually selling. So that's kind of there's Metallica at the bottom, and then there's Kiss, and more Kiss, and another Ozzy. And then over here we've got our Metallica Smitty set. And they're all just hanging out playing their guitars. And then up here we have the Kiss Smitty set. And they're just hanging out, chilling. And then over here we've got the McFarlane 3D music albums. I need one more, the Elvis one to complete that collection. And then over here is sort of the, so let me, before I get into that, this is what we just saw. So those are my loose ones. Over here we've got a couple more doubles and triples up at the top. So here is sort of my prized possessions when it comes to music figures. These are the more expensive ones. So we've got the Misfits. We got Jerry Only. I think the Misfits would probably have to be my favorite figures, and I would probably have to say Jerry Only is my favorite figure of them all, just because of the detail of his jacket. A lot of detail went into this figure. A lot of custom pieces went into this figure, and really happy with it. Then we have Doyle. I did a complete review of the Misfits as well. If you want to search my channel here on YouTube, you can see a review of the Misfits. Next we have the Sex Pistols. These were put out by Real Action Heroes. So we've got Sid Vicious here, and then down at the bottom we got a Johnny Rotten, aka Johnny Laden. Then I have down here, I have a custom 12-inch 1/6 scale Jim Morrison that I'm working on. I put this one together. I ordered the head online, and so this whole thing cost me like $30. Eventually I'm going to swap out the body because those hands they're all just molded. I want to get one that is that you can actually either swap out the hands or move the fingers. So that's on my to-do list, but I don't know, it looks all right. I got to design that box in the back as well. Moving on up, we've got Slim Shady M&M, and this one's pretty good. It's an unofficial Slim Shady. So really, it's from Subway. So really, it's M&M from the movie 8 Mile, but nevertheless, it's still M&M, and the face sculpt looks really good. And then finally, we have our art effects along with Enter Bay. We have our 1/6 scale Elvis Presley, and this is probably one of the best figures I have. As far as the detail and the custom work. He comes with all various hands and accessories in the box. The box itself is amazing. The artwork is incredible. And like, look at that face. That's just amazing. That's an amazing face. Look at that. Look at that. That is pretty sweet. I'll be doing a review on that shortly, on that specific Elvis. So this is what we just saw. And let me do another scan of the action figure collection. There's still lots of figures I need to collect, but I'm well on my way. So let me just turn this around as I grab my Courvoisier cognac, and I just want to say to all those music figure collectors out there that yeah, stop before it gets too much, and you know, you start running out of basement space, and then you have to move into bigger houses and you can't afford it, and you have to start selling your body for your collection. So just stop. Stop your collecting right now. It's getting too much. Anyways, no, I'm just kidding. So it's fun. It's a great little collection that I have here, and this is what it looks like. So Dave Flook, musicactionfigures.ca. Visit the website for all your music figure needs. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my Courvoisier cognac. Thanks a lot for watching. 27 minutes, not too bad. All right, cheers.